we are gonna be talking about some deep shit today. If you are watching this video, girl, I know exactly what you are going through. Your girl has been in the lowest of the lows, the trenches, the deep down underground. I know how hard it can feel like to not know what your purpose in life is. You are in control of your own decisions. So this is basically like an overview of my 5 to 6 year transformation in terms of my body, my mental health, all that stuff that us Desi people love to talk about. Currently I'm injured. I feel like my life is just on pause. I'm being forced to rest and recover and take it a little bit easier for the next few weeks. So I thought, what better time than now to finally start a YouTube channel? If you guys have seen me on Instagram the past few years, y'all know that I've been very active with like the dance community in like New York. I kind of wanted to make this as a separate thing from all the dancing, just as a way for me to like chat with you guys, make some friends. Let's go. But let's back it up. Let's go from the top. So this was me in like 2017 or 2018. So quite a bit ago, 7-8 years ago. And I thought that I was just born to be ugly. I know it sounds ridiculous now when you think about it, but trust me, as a teenage girl, especially as a South Asian teenage girl, going to like, you know, a predominantly white school, anytime I looked around, I just like felt like I was lesser because I wasn't born with like perfect skin, perfect hair, and all of that. The thing is, when I look back, like I wasn't even super overweight in high school or even going into college. Somehow I had just been convinced that any amount of body fat I had was just like shameful and should be covered up and is not normal. That really took a toll on my mental health because so much of being a woman in this society is tied to the way we look, the way we dress, the way we even talk. Safe to say that I had very, very low self-worth at a very young age. Having such a hypercritical view of yourself at such a young age just started like creating so many insecurities, and that's honestly initially when my body image issues started coming in, because then I was just like skipping lunches, lie to my mom, like the lunch that she packed, instead of eating it, I just like toss it in the trash can. So there was a lot of like initial signs that like, all right, I should maybe not try to have unhealthy habits just to look a certain way. A lot of it also has to do with the things that boys would say. Boys were mean in high school, man. I remember getting called like a whale once. Like I didn't know any better, so started believing whatever people would say to me and would take any form of rejection like so personally. Also because I was so into like dancing and Bollywood and all of that, I would always just like compare myself to like these actors and actresses. And why can't I be skinny like Priyanka Chopra or like Kareena Kapoor? Seeing them in like these music videos, looking so hot, looking so sexy, and wondering why I couldn't look that way. And I relatively was like an active kid, I would say. Like I played tennis. I was never fond of the gym. And anytime my dad would force me to like go train, go wake up early before school to like, you know, get a workout in. And I remember hating it.
I'm not happy. I hate it here.
I remember feeling like I was being punished. So when I hit college and received full freedom, that was the first time in my life, as a lot of us, you know, Desi kids who are sheltered. As soon as we hit college, it's all right, I have all this freedom. What do I do with it now? So I decided to take a more unhealthy route and would just like party, binge eat, and binge drink like literally all the time. And I struggled a lot with academics and stuff in school, so that wasn't like, that was just like more added stress and pressure on me that I didn't really know how to deal with, and I didn't know how to ask for help for all of that. I think there was a phase where every single day I was just eating loads and loads of Taco Bell every night. Like I'm saying, like I'm talking about like 4 or 5 items in like one sitting. Like I kid you not, it was so bad. Getting flashbacks as I'm talking about it. But yeah, it was not a pretty period of my life. I think in the course of the 4 years I was in college, I gained 40 pounds. And while I was gaining this weight, I definitely knew I was gaining weight because my clothes were fitting like differently. I had to like keep buying larger and larger sizes. And every time I did, I would just like try to cover up, parts of my body so I could just like avoid like the weight gain that was happening. By the end of college, I was just in a very, very low state. And because I went to a pretty good school for undergrad, all of my friends graduated like, top like 10% of the class and moving on to like med school, law school, like grad, any sort of like, higher education. And then there was me. I was jobless and I had moved back in with my parents. That summer after graduation was like, I was crying every day. I woke up with zero willpower to do anything in my life. I would just lay in bed for hours and hours and hours, eating junk food, eating chips, finding whatever I could in my parents' pantry, and just like moping over how pathetic my life was. I was just applying to jobs kind of aimlessly, hoping that something would stick. And that's the summer that I bought my first ever gym membership at UFIT, Tampa, Florida, is when I first started going to the gym. And I didn't know what the heck I was doing in the gym, but I would show up every single morning, do like 30 minutes of running on the treadmill, and then get out of there. I was like, let me get out of this place as fast as I can. I would cry in the car to and from the gym every single day. Oh my God, it was miserable. It is a sad realization to have, but also if you can be that self-aware and know that, all right, something has to change if I want things to change. Even though I hated it in the beginning, I was just like, all right, let's just freaking get this done. Like maybe I'll feel a little bit better and sort my life out. But also like I went from 0 to 100 so fast. I would just like do cardio, and then I cut down my diet to like, I think like 11 or 1200 calories. I would like be good for like 3 days and then get that like binge eating craving back. After the gym, I would secretly go through the Taco Bell drive-through, eat like a whole burrito, maybe 2 burritos, and then go home without like telling my parents. I'd have like 2 good days and then I'd have, a crazy binge eating phase. Because I went from 0 to 100 so quickly, the changes that I incorporated in terms of like the gym, my diet, it just was not sustainable. I changed too many things at the same time instead of like kind of slowly building it up to the point where these habits like started forming and it wasn't such a big drastic like change. You have to like slowly like get to the point where you're making healthy choices and healthy habits without even trying too hard. So fast forward to moving to New York. I honestly think moving to New York was such a blessing in disguise. First of all, it got me out of my parents' house, and like nothing against my parents, I love them to death. Just getting out into like a new environment, new people. Your environment is everything. I cannot express how much just being in the city helped with my mental health. But when it came to my body confidence, I still was not there. I was going to the gym consistently. I got that Blink membership. We were in that Blink zone, like $9.99 a month or something. I'd be going like every single day before work. Going from like the suburbs to the city, I was walking everywhere. I was walking like 20,000 steps every single day. Honestly, I didn't realize how much of an impact that made in terms of like just like losing weight. And at this point, I started shifting my workouts from just cardio, strength training a little bit, but I wasn't lifting super duper heavy. I was just like sticking to like lighter dumbbell workouts. But I remember there weren't very many South Asian women that I saw in the gym. Going to the gym in New York can be so intimidating because first of all, everybody is fine. Everybody looks so good. Everyone is so hot here. It just feels like everybody around me knew what they were doing. Like they would come in, start, lifting their weights, doing their thing. And I would just walk in sometimes being like, I don't belong here. So I would just pick up like my 5 and 10 pound dumbbells, just find a quiet corner in Blink Fitness and put in my headphones and just turn my YouTube workout on and just like be in my zone, in and out in like 45 minutes or an hour. It wasn't until I started seeing like those initial results and seeing like my body was able to shed off those layers of fat that I was like, oh, okay, so you're telling me this formula does work. That as soon as I started getting a little bit of confidence back in my life, COVID hit. I was not ready to let go of this feeling of achieving those small wins. During COVID, I looked up all the home workouts. I was dancing 24/7. So I stayed consistent pretty much throughout all of COVID. And this is when I started kind of enjoying the workouts as well. I was doing a lot of like HIIT, a lot of body weight. I wasn't gaining any muscle. I just lost a lot of body fat now. So I started researching strength training. So when I came back after COVID, I hired a personal trainer for a couple of months just so she can, show me things around, teach me how to use machines properly, and also teach me good form. And once I felt a little bit more comfortable after like 3 or 4 months with what she was showing me, from there, I was able to kind of create my own plan, my own workouts. My mindset shifted so much from, oh my God, like, why am I this way? To like, if I put my mind to it, it can happen. Instead of looking at the gym as like a punishment every single day, I knew I needed to do something to make it fun and exciting so I could look forward to it. It was like something as simple as blasting the newest AP Delon like album. At some point, I didn't even realize I was hitting my dream physique, and I got way too obsessive with like the number that was being shown to me on the scale. It sounds so dumb like looking back, but I didn't understand this concept of like weight fluctuation, which is such a normal thing. I would get like way too in my head about, oh my God, like I need to eat less today because yesterday I was weighing 5 pounds heavier, and then I would weigh 5 pounds less that day and then be like, okay, this is the correct amount of food I need to eat because now I weigh what I want to be weighing. So I would just like eat based on what the scale was telling me and not realize that like I was probably way under feeling myself. And because I would undereat for like days at a time, by the time the weekend came around, I was again binge eating. It's just like this very repetitive cycle of undereating, and then going ham with the DoorDash orders. And then at some point down the road, I started gaining the weight back. And that was terrifying to me. I was like, oh my God, I need to be eating even more less. And it was just like this ongoing cycle of like undereating, binge eating the weekend, and then over exercising. I think I gained back like 10 or 15 pounds at this point, and it just felt like I was back in square one. I was like pretty like defeated by the fact that to like kind of reach my goal only to like take like 10 steps backwards. And that's the first time I started tracking my calorie intake and macros very, very closely and I use that like online calculator, like calorie calculator, to figure out like my maintenance calories, how much I should be eating to lose weight, how much I should be eating to bulk up. That's when it finally clicked that, oh my God, like I have been doing this wrong this entire time. So I started tracking my calories first for like a week, just tracked without like altering my diet or anything. I tracked how much I regularly ate. That really helped me kind of understand, this is my starting point. Let me have this initial set of data. And I bought a food scale. I would measure out my food. So once I did that for like 3 or 4 months, then I got a pretty good idea of like, okay, this is how much like 4 ounces of chicken looks. And that is finally when I felt like I found my formula that worked for me. Working out hard and pairing that with portion control, and I reached my dream physique about 3 years ago. It's crazy what fixing one thing in my life had this ripple effect into all other aspects of my life as well. Your mindset matters more than everything, because as soon as I started building that confidence, I started having these mindset shifts from victim mentality to taking matters into my own hand. And I had to realize the hard way that I wasn't just going to wake up one day, magically become a version of myself that I wanted to be. It truly is amazing to go through this phase of my life where I have been able to change something about myself that I used to hate so much. I just wish I did it in a kinder way to myself, which is why I want to encourage you, if you're watching this and you don't know where to start on your fitness journey. I know how hard it is. Choosing yourself every single day is definitely not an easy thing to do. It can start off with the smallest of changes. Like right now for me, I actually can't even go to the gym or lift or do anything because I have an injury. I don't want to lose all the progress I've made, so I've been really keeping a close eye on my diet and nutrition. Get my steps in. I've been trying to walk like 10 to 15,000 steps every day just so I can get some form of movement. Because the thing is, there's always going to be some obstacle in your life. You're always going to use some excuse to justify why you can't start today. It's okay to take your time. That is completely normal. No one is saying that you have to go from 0 to 100 in a week, but it starts somewhere. And I hope that listening to this gave you a little bit more inspiration, motivation, whatever you need to get your booty into that gym. Let me know if you guys have any questions, anything specific you want to talk about. Leave them in the comments and I will continue posting on here for your guys' viewing pleasure. If you really enjoy any of this, I would really appreciate if you guys could hit the subscribe button. I love sharing these stories with you guys. For some reason, I just love being vulnerable on camera because I know someone out there watching probably has felt the same way, and I just want you to know that you're not alone in this. So love you guys, take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.